I'd like to start this video off by saying I am not a financial advisor. Should you choose to invest in Bitcoin or any other asset, to be sure to do your own research or seek the advice of an actual financial advisor. Now, we seem to have broken below the 20-day EMA, so that is telling me that we are more than likely going to keep on going down. And like I said in the last tech analysis video I did, I don't see us breaking below this support here because there's a fuck ton of trading volume in this area. Actually, it is the most traded area of the past year, so this is where I see us finding support and potentially bouncing. Now, on the daily MACD here, it seems as though that this time is not going to play out like the last few times. The last few times we crossed bearish and went bullish. This time we're staying bearish. We crossed, we're going down, and we're not likely going to converge bullish until we actually find support on the next level of support, which actually there's another level of support between where we are now and where we are headed, and I believe that is the 50-day EMA. But either way, I think we might break below that, and we're likely going to find our support at the 8,000 area. So I know I'm kind of jumping back and forth, but back on the price here. When we do bounce, by the time we do bounce, I see us coming down like this and maybe going up like this. Keep in mind that the 200 daily moving average is actually moving its way down. So depending on where we bounce and where we come back up, we may not have to go as far to break above the 200 daily moving average. Because right now it is currently at damn near 8.9k, yeah. So do keep that in mind. Now, zooming into the 4-hour time frame here, as you can see, we do seem to be forming a falling wedge, and as you all know, falling wedges have a tendency to break in the upwards direction. And this might play out kind of perfectly, because if we say we drop here, we come back and bounce around for a little bit longer, we will hit the 8k area, and like I said, the 8k area is a major support. This could propel us and break us out, causing us to go up, of course. And as far as the target for the breakout of this falling wedge, it would be the top of the falling wedge, which would be roughly 9.1 to 9.2k. And like I just said, with the 200 daily moving average moving on its way down, that will most certainly put us back up above. Wow, I'm fucking this up. Back up above the 200 daily moving average. And once we get above the 200 daily moving average and people see that, that could push us even further, because people will likely buy in knowing that we may have just kickstarted the bull market by doing that. But that remains to be seen, and we just got to see how this plays out. The MACD here on the 4-hour is confused and has no idea what the fuck to do. So instead, I'll just bring us out to the weekly MACD. And as I've pointed out quite a few times here already, MACD did cross bullish, and as you all know, a bullish cross can be followed by some major upward motion as far as price goes. I mean, granted, sometimes that doesn't happen, but that's a rare occasion. Like 2018 bear market, they just stayed parallel until it collapsed. But then when it crossed bullish after that, it went upward. And the time before that, when there was a bullish cross, a lot of people made a lot of fucking money. So I do want to point out real quick that I forgot about the futures gap that I mentioned a while back. We did actually close that exactly with this little bit of a surge that we had here before we ended up collapsing. So that futures gap here is no longer valid. So I'm sure you've probably seen this on other YouTube channels by now, but I just wanted to point that out just in case you have not seen it. Speaking of futures gap, there is still one up here in the $11,000 area that we have not filled yet, so it will likely be filled as far as that goes. I know, like I've said before, I know it's myth. I know that they don't necessarily have to be filled, but Bitcoin throughout its entire history, at least on the daily, has filled all of its future gaps, except for, well, this one. And of course, the fact that we broke out of this falling wedge recently would technically give us a price target up where we peaked at the beginning of the falling wedge. after breakout, we would actually make our way up there eventually, but I don't see us going there too soon. Like I said on another video though, I see us having a run up right before the halving, followed by a collapse. I know that is a shitty drawing, but just bear with me. So this could present a good trade opportunity if you want to increase your HODL stash or whatever, but just keep a close eye on that. Don't FOMO in if you're not in and it starts its run up before the halving, because it will likely crash just after the halving. It did the same thing back in 2016, because as the news for the halving spreads, there's going to be a lot of people coming into the space, and they're going to be buying, and it's going to push that price up and up and up and up and up, and then a lot of people are going to see that it's not going to immediately moon afterwards, and so they're going to just drop out, I guess. Or plus, there's going to be the more experienced traders taking profit, and I've essentially turned this into a weird mountain-shaped object now, but that's besides the point. Now to give you an idea of what the rest of the market is doing here, the altcoins, we have a lot of green today. We have Dash at 5.5%, we have Bitcoin Gold at 4.8%, Stratus 5.5%, Synthetics 3.4%, Lisk at 5.4%. We have a couple that are down today, like Nervos is down 8.7%, Augur is down 5.3%. On a side note, if you ever wanted to know what Bitcoin dominance would look like in the form of bubbles, well, here you go. That's one big fucking bubble. Okay, there's one more thing that I have to mention before I go, and that is the BitMEX Funding and Premium Index, and that is this right here. That is a shaded area right here that keeps on going positive and negative and positive. I mentioned a while back that we were in a pattern that seemed to take the shape of a square wave, and that it had recently broken, which told me that the overall trend that we were in, the downtrend, was about to break, essentially. And it did. It broke. We broke out of the falling wedge. Now, I know that indicator really isn't used for that purpose, but it was useful in that case. Now, when this premium index is peaking on one side or the other, it's a good indication short term that there's about to be a reversal. And now it had actually peaked majorly in a positive, saying that the longs were paying the shorts, and so the price reversed, and we are now heading downward. Now I'm bringing this up now. I'm going to be bringing this indicator up a lot more in future videos, but I'm bringing this up now specifically because of this. There is a major decline in this indicator, and it's showing me that it could be shifting into the negative soon, showing that shorts could be paying long soon, and this shift is telling me that there is likely to be a price reversal soon here, and that could coincide with the fact that we could be hitting this support and bouncing and breaking out of this falling wedge. This is a good indicator to keep in your stash. I found this a while back, and it's been pretty useful. So with that, I think that is all I have for you guys. I will see you all next time.